So I'd like to give you a couple of practicing tips about learning this piece. Now the first one you're going to notice, this piece is in 5/8, it's kind of fast, but don't be freaked out about it. You want to make sure that you learn the rhythms correctly the very first time. Now one of the classic mistakes that I see young students make is they'll learn a measure or two and then they'll get excited and want to immediately speed it up and play it fast. I would recommend that you not do that. A much better strategy is to learn the entire piece slowly, correctly. You have plenty of time and don't get impatient. You want to develop what's called kinesthetic memory or muscle memory so that your hands immediately know where to go. And if you start speeding it up too fast, you'll develop kind of awkward technique. So it's much better to play with fluid motion and learn the entire thing correctly and then speed it up. So take your time, play it slow, learn the whole piece. Make sure you're playing your rhythms correctly. It's okay to get a pencil out. If you don't know how a rhythm goes, just take and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever beat it goes on. But just take your time, learn the piece slowly. Another piece is sticking. There's more than one solution to this piece when it comes to sticking. And you want to play something that feels comfortable to you, that feels effortless, and makes it sound the best you can possibly play. So as you're playing it slowly, what I would do is you come up to a spot, you're not quite sure what you want to do, come up with a couple of options, like an A version, a B version, C version, and just take the metronome, figure out what the ultimate tempo is, learn those little spots, are probably a beat, maybe a measure, and just put a metronome on and slowly speed that metronome up until it gets up to tempo. And you'll immediately figure out which sticking works the best. I've had this happen to me many times where I'm learning a piece, I learn it slow, and a sticking that seems to make perfect sense. I'll go ahead and practice that, and I'll practice it days, weeks, maybe months, slowly speed the piece up, only to realize that as I get faster, that sticking does not work at a fast tempo. So you want to make sure and learn the stickings at the ultimate tempo from the very beginning so you're practicing those correctly. Tuning. Tuning is going to be a very important part of playing timpani. You're going to be graded on that. And TMEA allows you to use gauges. But just because that pointer is pointing at that gauge does not necessarily mean the drum is in tune. So set your gauges up every single time you practice. Just check them. In today's technology, you can easily get a digital tuner and put it on your mobile device, your iPhone, your Android. And every time you come in, go ahead and put your gauges on the pointers and just check it. Make sure that all those pitches are correct. Over time, your ear will start to get to hear what the melodies that are being produced on timpani sound like. And you'll be able to diagnose whether the drums are not in tune or not. So use a digital tuner, set your gauges up every day, and really practice in tune, okay? I can't stress that enough. You want to make sure that you're in tune. Errata. Make sure you check the errata. For this piece, you don't have to play the whole thing. The other pieces you do, but there's a cut in this one. So you want to make sure and check that so that you're not learning something you don't actually have to do in the competition. So just check the errata. Mallet choice. Let's talk about mallet choice. Now in this piece, its articulation is a must. Most of the passages are fast. You really only have one roll. So you want to be very clear when you play. I would not play with a heavy mallet, so use something like with a bamboo shaft or a graphite shaft or something on the lighter side, maybe with a felt core and something that's articulate, kind of hard, but not too hard. The mallet that I used was the innovative BT7. I thought it was a really good choice. It's nice and light, it's hard, but it's not too hard so that I can make the rolls work. So good mallet to use for this piece. Just make sure it's articulate and light. Now let's talk about some spots within the piece that has some sticking problems. The big one that you're going to see is measures 10 through 13. This is a tricky spot. I'm not going to lie to you. A couple solutions you can do. One of them I talked about is you can put a double on a drum. That's one solution. You can do the double between two adjacent drums, which is the one that I like if I can do it. And the other one is the cross, where you actually come from one drum and you cross over a hand and hit another drum. If I can, for me personally, I try to avoid that. The reason for that is because the hand that I'm crossing over, in this case my left, I'm reducing the range of motion because my right hand is in the way. Second thing is the hand that's crossing over, in this case my right hand, that hand's going to be louder because it's coming from here to there. So it's hard to control your dynamics when you're doing crosses. If the passage requires that, where it requires this hand to be soft and this hand to be loud, crosses are great. But I try to avoid it if I can. In this spot, the way that I solved this problem was I solved it with the adjacent double. So here's a spot up the tempo. Here's a spot slowed down. Even slower. So you can see where I'm putting those doubles between the adjacent drums, and it just flows right around the drum as I play it faster. Matter of fact, the faster I get, the easier it is to play. So that's a sticking that I like. So another spot I'd like to talk about is kind of a counting problem. If you look at measure 36, 37, 38, you've got this 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1. It's kind of hard to count. Here's a trick that you'll find very helpful. If you'll think of 36 and 37 as combine those two bars and have 1, 5, 4 bar. Okay? So then the rhythm becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then you're back into the right place. So instead of counting a really fast 5/8 bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, and you're back into the rest. So that's a counting trick that I'm sure will help you out. So in conclusion, I hope this video will help you. I wish you the best of luck in the TMEA 2017-2018 competition. Good luck.